At nagbabalik ang MPL Recall. My name is Leo. Kasama nandito si TDZ, Nomad, and Renmar the Reptar. We are on to day number 3. Let's look back at what happened in the very last day of the first week of MPL PH Season 7. First was a matchup between Aura PH and Blacklist International. Yan. Sana napag-isipan ninyo na during the break if Aura PH really is the strongest lineup on paper as they went up against the madman antics of Bonchan and the rest of BLCK. Yan, binasa ko pa. And of course, the second series of day number 3 is NXP versus Bren Esports. The headlines write themselves, ladies and gentlemen. Hindi na namin kailangan pang i-build up ang nangyari doon. This was a 2-game series. It was a sweep and the world champions fell. Alright, gods do bleed, sabi ng NXP. TDZ, man, let's talk about the first matchup here and let's jump into the hot topic. Do you agree? This is a draft battle, 2v1 handicap match. Bonchan versus Dale and Arcadia.
Man, kakaiba. I mean, iba kasi ang iba talaga ang utak ng mga coaches eh. Most of the time, nag-a-adjust sila kung ano yung play style, then mag-a-adjust ng onte kapag kung ano yung mga counters, kung ano yung mas effective na hero against the core. So, hindi mo talaga siya mapupull off yung complete 100% preparation for the coaches. But looking at the game here sa side ng ORPH, pati Blacklist International, yung first game, sobrang dito yung Tigreal pick because they lack, well, we do understand na kailangan nila ng magandang CC. They need to get that AoE CC para mahuli nila yung back end. Kaso ang problema, ang mga heroes dito ng ORPH is really mobile. So, Ison, namatay siya ilang beses, doon nakapag-snowball dun si Greed using his Kagura. And talagang mahirap ng pigilan yung first game na to. Pero pag-adjust nila ng second game, that Popol and Koopa, and also the Atlas plus the Harith. Nung una, medyo questionable ako dun kung effective ba, kung enough ba yung damage dito ng Atlas pati Harith. Early game, nakikita natin yung impact, pero nung nagkaroon na ng items dito si Harith, and also getting those Atlas na pang-secure sa mga turtle areas, sa mga objective, dun nag-shine yung current composition dito ng Blacklist International. And also yung performance ni Oh My Venus sa Popol and Koopa. Laging sakto, nahuhuli nila lagi si Claude, yung mga core hero. Give them a lot of opportunity to catch up.
Yeah, actually, again, the fact that heroes like Atlas and Popol and Koopa in the same lineup are showing up, it really shows how there's no holds barred when it comes to a matchup like this. I have to correct myself. On my TikTok, I answered a question about Kufra and Atlas and I totally forgot. I totally forgot na nag-Atlas pala dito si Uncle Eson in game number 2 of this 3-game series. I gotta ask you, Reptar, you're a fan. Like, I know you're one of those people who, when you see crazy things like this show up, talaga magre-react ka. What were your thoughts when you saw this happening?
Nung game number 2, when the Popol and Koopa and Atlas were picked up by Blacklist, I told myself, actually I was on call with sabi ko, oy babe, panalo Blacklist dito. I maybe it's because of my tendency to really go for drafts that look very different, but with that lineup kasi you have so much control in the sense that ORPH have the more yung lineup nila mas reflective sa current meta natin, whereas Blacklist was a little bit more ano yan. But then because of the tools that you have on that side for Blacklist, yung Zaman Force ni Harith, you have the bite and the traps which really annoyed the hell out of the Claude sa Aura PH every time. On point yung mga kagat ni Popol and Koopa, and of course Oh My Venus who used that, and then Eson with just using the fatal links. Parang every time Aura PH wanted to get the ball rolling with something, gusto nila mag-set up ng play, gusto nila gumawa ng ganitong approach into a team fight or in a skirmish, or had everything ready para hindi makahanap ng momentum yung Blacklist had everything ready para hindi ng momentum yung Aura. And draft battles, we usually look into it as ano yung pinik ng dalawang teams, but just to understand how much respect these two teams have with each other, Blacklist always banned Selena and Natalia Meanwhile, Aura always banned Biggie and Estes, which is the two picks na pagkalaban mo ang blacklist, wag mo ibigay kay Oh My Venus. And of course, a team like Aura, ayaw mo magbigay ng Selena and Natalia that really gives them a lot of map control and vision. So, yeah, it just goes to show how well these two teams know and respect each other in terms of the favored picks.
Yeah, I really like how, with all of this mentioned, hindi mo pa binabanggit yung YSS, which was the perfect pick. Like, this wouldn't work without the YSS, I think. It's super important na meron kang parang grounded pick. Kasi sa totoo lang, sobrang baliwan ng Popolin Kupa, Atlas into Harith. Like, to get those three things working. And of course, you have the Pakito doing Pakito things. Talagang yung YSS talaga ni Wise ang naisip kong parang, that's good. If that was a carry, it would have been super weird. If it was, any other marksman, it would have been super weird. So, agreed. This matchup or this series lived up to the hype. But speaking of hype, I want to move on to series number 2 here, and this is a matchup that I don't know. It showed us na yung mga ingay sa social media ng team na tulad ng NXP and even Brenny Sports, like they both know that there's hype. They both know that there's so much riding on this matchup. Nomad, nadala ka ba doon? Nadala ka ba bago pa nagsimula yung laban na parang naisip mo, oh, it's about to go down?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's fan favorite versus fan favorite time and again. And kasi masasabi ko dito, NXP and Bren, they have the most, I wouldn't say rabid, pero yung talagang die-hard fans talaga sa buong MPL. And the hype was really there. And watching game number 1, I thought for sure na baka nanggigilang yung Bren Esports. Going into game number 2, it was, wait lang, this isn't the Bren Esports that we're used to. And I don't know if I can attribute that to them being, gigil sila matalo yung NXP, or it's NXP really just stepping up the plate from season 6.
Yeah. I think one other note here is to highlight the fact that Roger has a negative win rate in the MPL right now. Na parang watching all the other MPLs and seeing what, our, sabihin natin, tastemakers, di ba? What people who sway ML opinion say about Roger, parang wala naman this week wala naman na-counter nga siya di ba? Tumirik TDZ, what are your thoughts on Roger as a whole?
Man, sa akin kasi Roger, okay siya yung mga previous patches, di ba? Sobrang bilis ng or almost laging uptime yung mga purple buff, yung mga orange buffs. So para kay Roger kasi yung power spike niya, he's heavily relying on those buffs. So within that 15 seconds na dead time na wala kang buff, mapupull out, mas tumatagal yung power spike mo. So if you're playing Roger, you need to make sure na lagi kang merong purple, lagi kang merong orange, and also giving the Litho Wanderer. Kasi meron ng bago sa Litho Wanderer nga, bukod sa movement speed, meron na siyang mana regeneration na binibigay. Which, yun yung kulang. Yun yung isa sa mga struggle being as a Roger player, lagi ka nauubusan, lagi kang kailangan mong umuwi muna, you need to refill your mana or rather go to the jungle. Pero ang ginawa doon ng NXP, at tingin ko kung bakit na na-counter yung Roger, at isa rin sa mga reason kung bakit ang baba ng win rate ng Roger ngayon is yung jungle control. Ang laking impact na ng jungle control ngayon, especially for dispatch, pinataas yung mga experience na makukuha mo if you're playing the jungle role, at highly contested. Nakikita natin to every single game na 1-3-1 ang matchup na laging lumalabas, ang laning matchup. Why? Kasi after clearing the first wave, instead of going to the purple buff, kung sakaling pwedeng isolo yung turtle buff, laging pinafollow up yung Litho Wanderer. So, with that NXP against Bren, first game, nakikita natin dito yung control ng NXP all throughout the jungle area of Bren, and also given the fact na meron silang backshot. So, si James Z dito every single time, lagi niya nakokontrol, lagi niyang meron siyang information kung nasan si Roger at kung paano sila gagalaw, and prioritization NXP is really on point.
Yeah, let me just put a period or help out that explanation. Dagdagan ako ng konti. Feeling ko, man, kaya nasagot na NXP yun is because alam nila paano gamitin Gets din nila
Oo.
Di ba? So from their point of view, like, ito gawin mo to para sabihin nating man-neutralize or as they would say in the streets, mabaog yung Roger. Di ba? Mahirapan siyang mag-scale. Kasi ganun yun Roger's a really snowball type of hero. So if you're able to stop him early, you could walk away with a 2-0 even against world champions. Which now, I can't believe that came out of my mouth still today, no? Na sinabi kong na 2-0 ang world champions. Reptar, it is on the internet now. We all got emotional when Bren Esports won the world championships. Not more than 2 months, actually 2 months to the day, man. 2 months to the day nung napanalo nila yung M2 World Championships. Did we expect anything like this? Na matutuo sila ng NXP?
Well, of course not. But then at the same time, feeling ko nasa likod yun ng utak natin eh. Na and we were not just us, but like anyone who watched Bren Esports win the World Championship going into the Season 7, deep down, tinatanong natin, what happens if Bren Esports nagkulang sila early on in the season? For us, we acknowledge the possibility rin, nag-huddle tayo before the season starts, and that's what we saw. And I don't want to frame it so much as, Bren ko lang sa practice. Yes, Bren, admittedly, si Ribo nga mismo nag-admit on his socials, and then other members of his team, hindi lang to galing sa amin, that Bren are behind. Bren are behind in terms of rotation. Kita mo naman in terms of their decision making na there are some certain may kulang sila eh. And I think weirdly enough, the thing lacking with them is discipline. I don't think that's just because kalaban nila NXP, but balikan mo nila yung game nila this week, and this just does not feel like the same Bren in terms of the really sharp rotations. Every second, every minute, play after play, wala yun. There are moments na nagtataka ka na lang ano ginagawa ng Bren. What is Bren trying to build up to? We're seeing a more reactive Bren. We're seeing a more responsive Bren. Not necessarily the Bren Esports na alam natin na we're gonna take control from 30 seconds in. We know what we're gonna do for the next 2 minutes. And it's very obvious in how they move, and everyone, ito yung the thing that I'm impressed about kung minsan nagme-meet ka ng comment section kasi toxic, if you guys look into comment section of all the streams, even people noticed it there. Something's off with Bren. Parang mabagal Bren isn't as snappy, and sad to say, that's the facts. That's what we saw, and that's what's happening.
Yep, and one way to put it is they're falling off. Bren is falling off. Nomad, what does Bren have to do at this point to recover?
Just practice. Just get back to their groove. I mean, get away from the honeymoon period that, hey, we're the world champions. Don't let it get into their heads. Because at any point in time, there might be an M3 coming down the line. They may not be the world champions anymore. Don't relish the fact that they are world champions, pero focus on the present. Focus on the now. This week, yung first game nila against Onyx, I wouldn't say that was the Bren that we're looking for. Pero going into game number 2, where it was a bit more serious, wala masyadong experimentation na nangyari nun, that wasn't the Brenda we were really expecting, and they clearly lost 2-0. I want them to just get back into the game. Just focus on the now.
Yeah, I agree. Again, just grind, hustle like you're not world champions. Like, regain, earn that title every day. I agree, man. Pero merong bringing up dito ang isa nating kaibigan sa chat. And I think this also is an important point. No, I think this is something we can all ask ourselves, and something that we can ponder on. Maybe even Bren should think about this as well. Mababa ba ang hero pool nila? Maliit ba? Is it very predictable? I don't know. We're about to find out in the next couple of weeks here in the MPL PH Season 7. But for now, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back here on MPL Recall, we're going to keep it real. You're going to be hearing from, well, kailan nyo naman, hinahanap nyo na, si Midnight. Alright, stay with us. You're watching MPL Recall. We're going to go a quick break. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving us a like and subscribe to the channel. You can find us on Facebook via the link in the description. Thanks.